So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 7th chapter, verse number 3. This is questions asked by Vidura. And the questions he is raising are mainly to bring out the nature of the Lord. Because when we have to understand God, Bhagavan, the most important thing is to understand His inconceivable nature. Unless we understand this fact, we will not understand Him. So people are very much into worshipping Krishna as Gopal and as cowherd boy or Manjari Bhav, this and that. But before one does that, it is very, very important to understand that He is inconceivable. So that's why He is asking these questions. Because in the answer, it will be said that all this is possible because of His inconceivable nature. So the main import of his questions in the previous verse was that a cause and effect have similar nature. Effect is nothing but another state of a cause. There is a philosophy called Satkaryavad, which means that everything always exists. Only things change their form. Nothing is ever created, nothing new is created, and nothing is ever destroyed completely. But what is called creation is nothing but a change of the form of the cause. And destruction is nothing but losing that form. So the effect is already existing in the cause, but in an unmanifest state. And when we say that I am making the painting or I am making pasta, then we are bringing out that thing from the ingredients. It's just a change. So this is the philosophy of Bhagavatam also. But in case of Lord, this philosophy also creates a problem, because when you make pasta, then your ingredients, they're changing their characteristic, mixing certain things. But he said that Lord is avikari and he is a conscious being. So there is no question of His changing, and if He is the cause of all causes, if He is cause of this universe, then He must undergo transformation. And if He is not undergoing transformation, then He is not a cause, because cause has to undergo transformation to give rise to the effect. Some change has to happen in the cause. So first of all, transformation is not possible in Him. And then if you say, well, then he said it is also not possible because there is no reason for Him. Because this is not insentient cause but sentient cause. And if Lord is creating, then there is no reason for Him to create, because somebody creates to achieve something. If you are making something, producing something, even if you are writing poetry, then you want to achieve something from that. So Lord does not have to achieve anything. So why He is meant? And then if He said that He does it for the sake of pleasure, because He also do things for the sake of pleasure, then He says, then still it is not possible because He is nirguna. And in Nirguna there is no possibility of any transformation. This was his doubt. Then he further continues, Kridayam udyamor bhasya kamaschikirid sayanyataha swatah triptasya cha katham nivritasya sadanyataha. Says that also it is not possible that Lord will do it for playing like a child. The child goes, he plays, he is not trying to achieve anything. So it says Kridayam udyamo arbhasya kama chikridisha anyata. Then he likes to play with somebody. So he says it is not possible. Why? Swatah striptasya cha katham nivritasya sadanyata. Says because Lord is completely satisfied in himself. A child plays for pleasure. He wants to achieve some happiness, some satisfaction. But if somebody is already satisfied, then what is the use of playing? For what purpose? And he cannot play with others because there is no other than him. It was already said, Bhagavan Eka Esa Adi Idamagre, that in the beginning only the Lord was there. So if there is nobody with him, he is going to play. So this is his doubt. Kincha Leelaya iti uktya virodha pariharo mastu लीला एव तावद ईश्वरे हेतु अभावात् न घटते इति सदृष्टान्तमाह क्रीडायाम. So in the previous verse he said Leela, that Lord does his pastime. So if someone says, well, that is not possible because there is no reason for him to do any Leela, then someone say, well, like a child, he can play. उद्यमयति प्रवर्तयति इति उद्यमः काम एव अर्भकस्य स्वाभाविक क्रीडायां प्रवृत्ति हेतु अस्ति. So just like a child has natural tendency to play. He does not like to do any work. Therefore it's difficult for a child to go to school. It's the big torture for the child. That he has to go to school, he loves to play. So unless that he can play in the school, he would not. First of all, he is attached to the parents, he does not want to be separated from the parents, and then he has to go and study. So it is a very big torture for the child to do that. But playing is natural. If there are other children, then they are playing. Then he is very happy. Like we were in Antwerp and this boy, remember one day dropped to the school, all the children were there. And Paul took his son, and he was very happy to go there because there were also other children and they were all going to play. So then they don't mind. But sitting down, it is a big tapasya. Because to study, a child has to control his senses. He has to sit quietly, he cannot move. So by nature the child is very frivolous, active. He has energy. He is growing. And studying means being in one place. So this is problematic. So psychologists, they did study and they came to conclusion that mostly people like to become teacher because they want to torture others. And it is not possible to torture in the society because if you torture somebody then you will be punished. But teaching is a job where they get paid for torturing. And many of them, not one or two, they get 25, 30 children, they can torture them and get credit for it. And the parents are happy that he is a good teacher. But the children never agree with the parents. And the parent will say that this teacher is very nice. Children will say, what you are saying is told Srimad. So he says it is also not possible for Lord to play like that. तथा अन्यतो बालांतर प्रवर्तनेनपि चिक्रीडेशः अस्ति परमेश्वरस्य स्वात्मरामत्वात् कथम कामे ईश्वरान्तरभावात्. So because Lord is Atmarama, so he does not have any desire to play like this. Moreover, for playing you need other children, and that is not possible because there is only one God. If there were many gods, then they could play together. At least one more, then you can go and have a tennis match. But if there is only one God, then what can he do? So sometimes these people who are on top, they are very bored with their life. Somebody is a president or prime minister, they get bored because they have to be alone. They cannot sit with other people and be friendly. So they suffer from this loneliness. Everywhere they go, they have to be just themselves, kings. So it may look nice that somebody is a king or prime minister, but from the point of view of having association with other people and being friendly and playing and gossiping, it's a tapasya for them. So God also has this. If he is only one, then he must be bored also. So then he would like to play, but there is no one to play. So he says, how can he play? He says, sada anyata, there is no one. Nivrittasya sada anyata. No other possibility. And, then someone says, well, really God does not create. It is somebody else who is creating. So this way there is no problem. So the problem was that how can God create when there is no need for him to create and he cannot undergo transformation. So maybe somebody else is creating under him. So he says, no, previously you said that it is he who creates. Asrakshit Bhagavan Vishwam Gunmayatma Mayaya Taya Sansthapyati Hetu Etad Bhuya Pratyabhidhashyati. Says, it is Lord himself who creates. Asrakshit Bhagavan Vishwam. Previously, Maitreya himself has said that Lord is the one who creates with his own Maya. In the 5th chapter. Kalivritya tu mayam gurmaya madhuksaya proshenatu bhutena viryamahate viryamahate. So then you cannot deny that. So the problem still stands. And Gunmaya Atma Maya, he creates with his own Atma Maya, his Maya, which is composed of the gunas. Taya Sansthapyati, and he also maintains this world with his energy. Bhuya Pratyabhidha Apidhashyati, and again he also destroys it. So this is to make sure that he does create it, but it is not possible for him to create, being Atmaram, Aptakam, and also Chinmay, completely transcendental, free from material modes. So this is the question. He's making it really very tight question. seeing all possibilities. Nacha tasya te gunaha kriyascha na santi iti apalakniya. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that somebody can say, well, Lord is there, but he does nothing. So then this defect of undergoing transformation or performing activity, although being free from moods, does not apply to him. And these gunas, material qualities also don't exist in him. All these activities don't exist in him. So then Vidura says that no, that is not true, because Lord did create it, Asrakshi. And he is maintaining it now, and he will also destroy it. Pratyapi dhashyati pratilomena tirohitam karisha. So it says he does all the three activities. So therefore I want to know what is the real reason or how he does it. And then further he says Deshataha kalatoya sau avasthata svatonyataha avilukta bodhatma sayujjet avyakatham. Again bringing the question that if you say that Lord is creating with Maya, it's not undergoing transformation himself, but he creates with Maya. So Aja means Maya. Says that also I don't understand how it is possible. First of all, Lord, he does not lose his knowledge ever, his consciousness. Because to be influenced by Maya, to come in contact with Maya, one has to lose one's awareness. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantam. That a living being is covered by ignorance, therefore he is bewildered by Maya. So this whole idea that in the beginning there was a soul and he saw Maya and he saw the spiritual world and then he came to Maya because he has free will. So I used to ask this question, that when he made this choice to come to this material world, was he in knowledge or was he ignorant? So you cannot say that he was ignorant, because if he is ignorant then there is no question of choice. When you make choice, you have to know both the possibilities, that this is A, this is B. If I eat this fruit, I will have this. If I eat this, I will have this. Then only there is choice. I have to know that these two possibilities are there. So you cannot say that he was in ignorance. And second thing is that if he was in ignorance, then there is no question of falling down. He is already fallen. Because the very reason we are fallen here is that we are in ignorance. Now if you say that he was not in ignorance, he was in knowledge, then if he is in knowledge, why would he choose? No, nobody in knowledge is going to choose to fall into Maya. It is impossible. So he says that Lord cannot lose knowledge either by place, by time, by situation, by himself, because of someone else. His awareness, his consciousness, his knowledge is avilupta avbodhatma. It is never lost. That is his very nature. There are 5 ways in which one can lose one's knowledge. One is by place, that you can have knowledge in one particular place and in another place you become forgetful. So it is possible that something functions in one place, does not function in another place. Or you have good oxygen, fresh air, your mind is working nicely, you are put into a room which is full of smoke, then you lose your memory, cannot think properly, make wrong decision. So that is not possible in case of the Lord, because He is everywhere, He is all pervading. Place has no influence on Him. Then Kalata can also lose knowledge by time. People become old, they have Alzheimer. Then they lose memory, lose their knowledge. Avasthata, in a particular situation, you sleep at night, you forget everything. You may be a rich person, you can become poor in the dream. So you lost your knowledge of being rich. So it's just by situation, particular circumstance. Or you can take some drug and think yourself, hallucinate. By yourself, you can lose your knowledge just by yourself. So that is not possible in case of the Lord, because He is very essence of knowledge. Or you can lose knowledge because of something else, or because of some other person. So these are the 5 ways that one's knowledge or consciousness can be lost. In case of Lord, He says that none of them are possible. Deshta kalpo yoso avasthata svatonyata avilupta bodhatma sayujet ajayakita. So none of these possibilities exist in the Lord. So how is it that He can combine with Maya and then create? So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, जीवस्य च कथम माया मोहितत्वम घटेत इति आक्षेपांतरमाह देशता. So he is applying this verse on living being, that even a living being, how can he lose his consciousness? Because he is also conscious being. देशता इति योऽसौ नित्य ज्ञानत्वात् देशादिभिर अविलुप्त अवबोधात्मा जीव स कथम अजया अविद्या युज्येत. So he says that the living being also, if you take a pure living being, soul, then even he cannot lose his consciousness because of any place, and thus there is no possibility of Jiva being influenced by Maya and covering the consciousness of the living entity. Tatra desata ushar desta uktam bijamiva. He gives example just like seed. Seed has the potential to sprout, but if you put it in a barren land, then it will not sprout. So that is losing its power in a particular place. So he says, in that sense, Jiva, or if you apply the verse to the Lord, they cannot lose their consciousness just because of a particular place. Kalato vidyudiva, then time. This he gives the example that like lightning. So lightning comes, it gives light for a short time, then it is lost, then it is gone. So in a particular time it is illuminating, and after that there is no more illumination. So he said Jiva is not like that, that it has illumination for some time and then losing it. Avasthata, with position, he says like memory. You can remember things when you are young. In old age, memory starts failing. And for some people even in young age, I cannot remember things. So it is avastha or our condition of the body. Swatah, by oneself, like in a dream, it is, you are in the same place and only you are going from wakeful state to dream state and you forget this. And anyato ghatadiriva, or because of others. So like a pot is illuminated when there is light, and if you turn off the switch then you don't see the pot. So in the same way, you have knowledge, you can eat something, then your intelligence can get covered or bewildered. So this is losing your knowledge because of something else, another. So these are the 5 ways. Yasya chidvastutvad avbodho na lukta bhavita. And because the soul is a conscious being, or Lord is a conscious being, then it is not possible for them to lose their consciousness. Soul never loses consciousness. When we say somebody became unconscious, does not mean that soul has lost consciousness. It's only consciousness has been withdrawn from the body. The soul is still conscious. There is no question of soul becoming unconscious. So then, sakatham avidyaya vilupta vibodha kriyate. Then how is it possible that he loses his awareness and becomes bound in this material world? So this is the question. And tomorrow we will read the answers. Question or we stop? Any question on the questions?
About the inability of the Lord to lose his knowledge because of space. You said that the Lord cannot lose the knowledge, his knowledge because of space, because he is omnipresent.
Yes.
Can one also say that the Lord cannot lose his knowledge because of space, because he is beyond space, as well as beyond time and other conditions also?
Yes. That also you can say that time cannot influence him. So it is not possible.